Okay. So basically, we are sitting here with a blank spreadsheet, and beside you or next to you, there's this 20 or 30 questionnaires. So the first thing that you need to know is, how am I going to put those things on here? How am I going to make it look nice and attractive and things like that? Now, the most important thing is to make sure it's easy to understand. I would recommend, now I'm not sure which business or whatever you took, but I would recommend always selecting a few cells here at the top, and I'm going to just, this is just going to be like a little rough idea. I'm going to select a few cells here and I will put that down for a logo of my business. So if you are doing college, you're going to put the college logo there or something like that, or a photo of the cafeteria maybe, or something like that, and just to show the business. If it's McDonald's, to McDonald's, or KFC, or whatever. This is an unofficial questionnaire, so none of those places asked us to do some research for them. This is just something that we're doing for educational purposes, so there's no reason to worry. Okay,
Ma'am, sorry, can I
yes.
please ask? So, ma'am, when we do the data results, the
Yeah.
survey results, I mean, do we do them individually or as a group as well? Or do we
You,
do them individually with the surveys, with the
um,
questionnaires that were answered?
for example, you're gonna work in a group, but you have 10 and Maria has 10.
Yes.
So you will create this spreadsheet and you will enter your own 10 data
Oh,
things. Yes. And Maria will, so basically you guys just need to decide who's going to create this sheet. But it can be both of you as well. So maybe you can design something, save it, and email it to Maria, and Maria can do the same. And then when it comes to entering the data, you will enter yours and she will enter hers. And eventually you will just pull together the charts from that data. So best thing to do is basically divide it up in half. Half for you, half for me, or three at the moment. I don't know. So far, you are three, supposed to be three. So you must just divide it and do, and then and check it. Check what Maria has done, and Maria will check what you've done, and see, is it right? Does it look nice? And say, okay, maybe we should make the size of this a little bit smaller so that we can fit more charts in or things like that. So yeah, so basically I'm going to show you how to enter the data, and then you will be entering your own, and Maria will continue from there, or she will start and you will continue, but all on the same sheet.
okay, ma'am. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you'll see shortly. Okay, so at the top here, somewhere on this spreadsheet, you have to give me the questions that you asked, and also for the person who is reviewing your data. So I'm going to say questions that were asked, and remember, Excel is very much like Word. It's just much nicer in a way, because I can jump around in cells and I can go crazy and make things bigger and smaller. So make it look nice. Today I'm not spending a lot of time on cosmetic things, but you guys must make the spreadsheet look attractive. I'm going to show you how to print it on one page, even though it might be a very big thing, so that you can still give it to a person or give it to me as a single page printout. So that's going to be nice. Now, in this example that I have here, I'm just going to do one or two questions and number them. So I'm going to say the first question is, the food was served hot and fresh. So if that is also your question, for example, I must just probably say here 1 point. Okay, the okay, I'm just going to start the sentence over. One full stop. The food was served hot and fresh. Okay, so that was the first question that we had on our questionnaire. I'm going to do another one quickly, just to give you an idea. So if you had 10 questions, you should write the 10 questions there. Or it's not really a question, the criteria or the 10 things that you were asking about. My second one on this list is, the menu had a good selection of items. So the menu had a good selection of items. Okay, that was three. Two. Okay, now let's say there's also a third one, a fourth one. I'm not writing it all out, otherwise you guys are going to stay here forever. 7, let's say this questionnaire at 10, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so for me, as someone who works on computers all the time, and you guys also, already I'm telling myself, oh, it's going to look nicer if I make this box bigger. I think you guys will agree with me. Now I'm blocking in my questions, kind of. And you can actually write your questions. Even if you had a long question, it can still go over to the side and it will not really influence my data at the bottom. Okay, so the first thing, get a logo or some image there that will represent your data. And then, of course, your questions, or for lack of a better word, I'm saying questions. Okay. And then on this side, you are going to need your key. Okay, so I'm calling it a key, but this is how to read the data. For example, in this case, 1 equals strongly disagree. So 1 equals strongly disagree. And then I didn't type all of them out because the ones in between are obviously medium, okay, and then strongly agree. But you know, since we have all this space next to 1 to 10, you could very easily have written every key here if you like. 1 being this, strongly agree, 2 being just disagree, 3 being neutral, 4 being something something, okay. And what I've always done is I've always colored the key as well to make it just stand out a little bit. But this is vitally important. This must be on your spreadsheet so that people can understand it. Otherwise, if I look and I see a lot of 10s, I might think, oh, this is a great place. But 10 in your case might be strongly disagree, where in other cases it might be agree. So somewhere you put the key. Obviously, make it look nice. Oh, you will see in my other example, I did spend some time on color coding and so on and so on. So if you are going for McDonald's, let's say, just for example, the colors will probably be red, yellow, white, black, something like that. So try and make it look like you are actually doing this for a real company or a real restaurant or something like that. Wimpy would be red and white and whatever. Okay, so this is the start. This is very important because I need to understand what I'm looking at. Okay, now we are finally ready to start entering our data. Now we are talking about 20 questionnaires for now, or even 30 questionnaires. Okay, so here we are going to start and we're going to say number basically, or let's think about a name later. And then here we are going to give the answers. Okay, answers. And here let's just must say number. Okay, but I shouldn't say something there. I can, yes, I can say something there. The number of the questionnaire. And here is question 1. Okay, so you are also going to, you don't have to write question 1 out. You can also just say Q1. Okay, Q2. And these are the things that you have on your questionnaire. So if you have 10, you're going to have 10. Okay, so I'm going to just do 5 because I said 10 here. So I should probably do 10. Otherwise, I'm going to confuse you guys so much. So I'm going to create a list. If you have, for example, got a few things that are more or less the same. Okay, they don't want to copy. So let's just do this. Q4, Q5, Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q10. Okay, so this is where you write the amount of questions that you have, and for each question there must be a cell. So this will be this question. The food was served hot and fresh. This is the first question on your questionnaire. Okay, now underneath here we are going to start to capture the answers. Okay, I hope I'm spelling things correctly over here. Just dragging this block out so that questionnaire 1. Okay, so questionnaire 1, let's say for example, Maria, your very first questionnaire, you will now enter your data. So what you will do is you will take your questionnaire like this and you will see, okay, for question 1, this guy answered 3. Then you enter 3 and you go to second question. So you will press right arrow and you're going to populate this table like this. Okay. For question 2, okay, I'm just making stuff up now, okay. This guy, and my key is only up to 5, so it can't be anything else. 1, 2, 3, or 5, not 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So in question 2, this guy answered 1, oopsie, and so and so. Okay, depending on the question. So this guy did not really give a good review, but at least we can take his answers. He answered everything without selecting 2 or 3 things at the same time. And this is questionnaire 1. So now what you will do is you will do this for 20. Okay, I'm going to go to 30 because ideally that is how many you should have. So here we have 30 questionnaires that should be captured. Okay. So Rory, what you asked me earlier, this will then be Maria's 10. So she's going to complete her 10. She's going to save her document and then she's sending it to you. And then you are continuing your 10. And if Malika joins in, Malika will continue with her 10. Okay. All right. So that is how it will work. So each and every question must be captured here. Okay. So of course, we just need to a few things. We just need to add some data in here so that we can. Okay, don't skip stuff. You guys must take more time to enter honestly and correctly. Human error. I always press upon my CPT 1 to 5 students. Human error, human error, human error. Okay. So of course I'm just gonna do 5 or so that we have some data to work with. Okay, don't get too bored. Just doing a few more. No idea what I'm entering. We don't have any questions here. We just want some data. Look what I'm doing. I'm giving a 6. There's no 6. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, okay, you can already see a mistake here. So 1 will have to delete. So 2. Okay, guys, you can see where my error came in. So you guys can go and fix this. It copied down from 1 and it made 2 ones. So now this is actually too many. Okay. But you guys get the idea. So now you have to capture your answers one by one, one by one. So you're going to sit with your questionnaires and you're going to enter your data. Once you have done all 10, yours and Rory has done all her 10, Malika has done her 10, then you guys are going to start your calculations. Okay. Now we have to count how many people answered yes, how many answered no, and so on and so on. So we have to do some count if functions again. So for now, we haven't yet had any formulas in here. I'm just going to quickly color this yellow so that you can see that this is a heading. And of course, you must make things look pretty and nice. I'm just saying merge and center over here. So we are trying to make things stand out a little bit as well. So you can actually do this and drag it down like this. You guys can do whatever you wish with, just make it look pretty. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to calculate our results. Now, since we have 10 questions, we should have 10 things that we calculate. Okay, so it's going to count down from 10. So it's going to be count if, actually 5, but yeah, we only have 5. Remember, we only have 5 key, so it can only be that. Okay, so count if the answer is 5. Okay, count if the answer is 4. Count if the answer is 3. Count if 2, and then count if 1. If you have 10, you're gonna, if you have a key that starts from 10 to 1 or 0, whatever, you are gonna have 10, 9, 8, 7, so on and so on and so on. Okay. Okay, so here is where we are now going to enter our calculations. Okay. So for question 1, okay, you know that this, all of the things in this column is going to be question 1. So we need to determine what did most people or how many people said that it was great or whatever. Okay, so you're going to start with a formula, and your formula is going to count if. Okay, so count if counts the number of cells within a range that meets a condition, and we're going to count if it is 5. So we are double clicking on this function over here, and we are going to select this whole range. Now remember, your range may be 20, your range may be 30, but select the whole range. Now you will see I haven't got stuff in my whole table yet, so of course it's not going to give me 30 answers. It's just going to count what I give it. Okay. So here you have your range, which means count in the column from B15 to B45. And if you look here, you will see it does start in B15 and it ends in B45. But what must it count? Okay? So now you will put down a semicolon. And what is the criteria? The criteria is 5. You must count it if it is a 5. Okay. So we press enter. And if you look here, you will see only 2 people answered 5. 1, 2. Okay, that's correct because only 2 people answered. So if more people, like for example, if you did populate this whole thing to be 30 entries, it would give you an amount or a number out of 30 to say how many people said that it was excellent. Okay, at the moment we only have 2. So don't get confused because my cells are blank. It shouldn't be blank, but once I populate here, for example, if I now enter another 5, it will probably change everything here. Now this is a 3. Okay, so now we're going to do the same and we're going to count all the 4s. So we say again equal, oops, now see I've got numlock is off, equal sign. Why is it not working? Equal sign. Yeah, I just want to quickly press escape and see what's going on here. Oh man, numlock is on. My equal sign is not working. Okay, just gonna pause my video quickly. Okay guys, sorry, I don't know why it is frozen, but anyways, this is now what I wanted to show you in the end. Okay, so here's my little, this is a Assamese, we actually really like Assamese, you probably also know about it, it's there in Somerset West. These are my questions, this is my key. Here I've entered all the questionnaires, 10 questionnaires. Remember, this is an exam question, so in the exam I couldn't really give you more than 10 or so. And then of course here are the answers that the people gave who answered the questionnaires. And then over here is my formulas. Okay, so I'm just going to open the formula version and show you the formulas that I wasn't able to now enter next in the other spreadsheet. Okay, so you're going to do count if every time for each of these. So it starts with count if the person answered 5, if the person answered 4, if the person answered with a number 3, a 2, or a 1. So these are going to be your formulas, and they are going to repeat every single time. Now we had only 5 questions in this questionnaire, so it stopped here. But in my other questionnaire that I was doing just now, we had 10, so it will continue until we get to 10. But it will always be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But if your key is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, then of course you will have 10 here that starts with count if 10, count if 9, and so on. Okay, so here is what we're going to say, basically is how we count the results. Okay, so we have now determined that what people have answered, and now we created a little chart for each of them. Okay, now the chart that we created, I'm going to show you how to do a chart. For example, you will see that each question received a little chart. The first question is the food was served hot and fresh, and this was question 1. So what I did was I did a little chart for this question only. I'm going to do a little chart. We'll just paste it somewhere where we see space. So I'm selecting the row titles because we need that row titles here at the bottom. So I'm selecting the row titles and I'm selecting the values. And now I'm just clicking on insert a little column chart. you can obviously choose another chart if you wish, and it will insert this little chart. Now, the only thing I did was I resized this chart quite a bit, and I'm just going to place it here because there's no more room there at the top. And this is what I did. I clicked on the little chart title, and here you will just enter your question. The food was served hot and fresh. And you will see by looking at this chart that the majority of people agreed that the food was indeed hot and fresh. Now you guys are probably wondering how I'm getting the chart to be the same color as everything else. Well, that is actually incredibly easy. You just click on the bars and then you choose the color to be the color that you want. I've been using yellow in the previous one, so if I wanted yellow, I will just choose yellow over here. What you can also do is you can make this chart pop a little bit by just choosing different designs or things over here, or you can just simply create a border for it by going to format, and you can say shape outline, and there's a little border. And this thing can be dragged around. Just keep in mind that you must drag in a blank area. If I drag over here, look at what's going to happen. This thing inside is going to go crazy. Okay, don't drag in text, drag in a gray, I'm saying gray area, in a white area like this. And then what you can do, what I've done here is I've just placed all the little charts here. In retrospect, I could have done a better job with this. I guess it would have looked nicer. Yeah, see what I'm doing? I'm already dragging inside my text in my data. It might have looked better if I placed all my little charts more like under each other like this. Probably it would have looked a little bit better. Okay, but keep in mind that the amount of questions will determine the amount of charts. So if you had 10 questions, you will have 10 charts, and each question will get a little chart. Okay, now you can see here I wrote the what shall I say, what I found, my findings, but of course you can do it next to your chart. In fact, that might be a better way to go about it. In an exam, one doesn't have a lot of time for cosmetic things, but since you guys have some time now, or since this is not something that you have to do in 1 hour, it might be good to either insert a text box next to this chart, and you can just write your findings here. And the findings doesn't have to be rocket science. You will just say the majority of people, EOBLE, answered or agreed or felt like felt is probably not a good word. The food was served hot and fresh. But if you look closely, you can see that nearly half also thought that it wasn't. So there's actually a very fine line. The majority did feel that the food was hot and fresh, but the second most answered, look, you're gonna have to use your best English here. We're feeling that it was just acceptable. Things like that. And this you get from this you get from looking at your chart. So what I would recommend is divide up the questions if you're divided through the amount of people in the group, and then that person can analyze the first 3 questions or the first 5 questions, or so and so. All right, so once you have done that, you are basically finished, and you must just make sure that your chart, or not your chart, that everything looks neat and looks like it, you know what you've done. Another thing that is good to know is how to print something like this on a single page. If you look here on my print preview, you will notice that I should just get out of a chart quickly. Am I still in a chart? No. Okay, it does print on one. I'm just going to head on to my, okay, I can't go out of here now. For some reason, things are not working so well on my computer. I'm going to have to restart, but let me show you how to do it. Even if it doesn't show right now, it will work if you do it at home. You're just going to go to page layout, margins, custom margins, and then here on the page tab, you will say fit to 1 page wide and 1 page tall. And if you do that, it will definitely fit on 1 page. Yeah, it's not showing anything on mine, which is it's because it's saying print selection. So over here, you will notice that everything I've done fits on 1 page, even though it will print very small. I did print this page for myself a few hours ago, and it is quite small, but you can still see very well everything on here. And what's nice about this is everything is shown on 1 page. Now you might say, oh, but ours is 10 questions. That does not matter. It will still print on 1 page. You might just have to make your charts a tiny bit smaller, and maybe just when it says print on 1 page, it will probably look a little bit smaller, but it will still print everything. You can resize your logo to be a little smaller if you feel like that is going to be better for sizing and for fitting everything on the page. Whatever you guys decide, just slap it on there and and make sure it looks good. If you can't fit it on 1 page, or if you feel like it's not doing it justice, then of course you can try and do a second page. Just make sure that you do your margins and things like that then. But it should definitely fit on 1 page. All right, so each question gets a little chart, and each chart will be shows exactly what the people felt in a nutshell, and then you just write your little comments over there. All right, so I'm just going to stop here and get back to you.